Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome to the Going in Raw Dirt Sheet, the only place you need to be going for pro wrestling news. We scour the world for the pro wrestling news on the dirt sheets, and we bring the best and most likely to be true ones here.
Yes.
We like to debunk the bull crap, and, we bring all that good stuff to you.
Yes.
Right here at youtube.com/Steveandlarson. We're also available wherever fine podcasts are available. Oh, boy. We skyrocketed up to like number 34 the other day. And this morning we were at like 37, 39, something
wow.
like that. Yeah, we were, man. Must be slow weeks in the sports and rec category in iTunes. Come Monday, we're going to plummet 100 spots.
Now that the World Series is over.
Yeah, World Series is
that
over.
Could be part of the reasoning.
Yeah, and then football kicks back in, obviously, this weekend. And so, Monday we'll be back down. But still, like you said, with the World Series over, it's all good stuff. Whenever you guys hit download or subscribe, then it's awesome.
A huge help.
It's fantastic for us because I get to wake up and I check my phone and I'm like, oh, look at that.
You're really obsessed about that.
We're doing really well now. Yeah. Anyways, we got a little bit of business before we get to the meat of our pro wrestling podcast here, Larson.
Yes.
We don't usually do sponsorships here on the show. A lot of you longtime listeners might recall back in August, we hooked up with some fine people over at Amino Wrestling app.
Correct.
And they reached out to us and said, hey, Steveandlarson, we like your content. Your community might like our app, this wrestling app that we have. And we said, really, what is it? And they sent it to us and we looked at it.
Yes.
And it's really cool. It's you get on this app and it's like a pro wrestling news feed, message boards. You can start your own chat rooms. It's like an entire social media experience centered around pro wrestling and all people with sort of, their own opinions on pro wrestling. And it all seems to be like, it's all positive, healthy discussion about pro wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And so they reached out to us back in August and said, would you like a paid sponsorship? And we said, yes. And then they came back to us very recently and said, hey, we loved working with you guys. And we loved the community outreach or the response rather from your guys' community. Would you like to do another paid sponsorship? And so what you're seeing right now is a paid sponsorship, but it's a product that we're actually really into.
Yes.
We wouldn't do this if it was some crap product.
Yeah.
We've been approached by multiple other...
Yeah, we're very conscientious about sponsorships we include on the show.
Right, exactly.
Like we don't want to... We won't include any sponsorships for products that we aren't into.
Yeah.
Or things that we don't think our audience would be into.
Right, exactly.
And we think our audience would be into this, and we're into this.
You sometimes hear other podcasts pushing other products, and it's like, what does this have to do with anything?
Yeah.
And it's like, I know, you got to pay bills. I understand that. But, we do well enough through like various other things that we can afford to not push weird stuff. We can push the stuff that we like to push.
Yes.
And the Wrestling Amino app is one of those. And here's how we're going to now, like, I found a way to really make this inclusive in our community.
Yes.
And to help you guys help us do less work.
Yeah.
This is fantastic.
Yeah, this is one of the best ideas you've ever had.
So some of you may know, because I think I tweeted out very briefly or something, our top 10 show that airs on the weekends here on our channel where we count stuff down, we're changing that format.
You tweeted about that?
I think I tweeted like, maybe it was like one of those like 3 a.m. tweets. You get up and you tweet something.
Okay.
And so we're changing the format of that show. It's now going to be called Going in Raw Countout.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of like this, us sitting and talking about things.
What we realize is that you guys really sort of prefer us in very conversational formats. And so instead of us reading off a teleprompter at you with this information, which doesn't feel natural, we're going to turn it into a podcast style show where we discuss the best and worst in pro wrestling through the ages or what's happening currently. And we want your input. And we thought, what better way to do that than use the Wrestling Amino app? And so every week, for example, next weekend, we're going to be counting down the best and worst pro wrestling rematches.
Yes, with Goldberg and Lesnar having their rematch next weekend at Survivor Series, it seemed like the right time to do it.
Right, exactly. So if you guys want to help us out and let us know what you guys think, and then we'll talk about what you guys talked about, you can, down there in the description, we've got a link. It's on iOS and Android for the Wrestling Amino app. And go to our profile. It's just...
What is our profile?
Steveandlarson.
Okay.
I made it very simple.
Good.
Steve and Larson, and you know it's us because there's a picture of us there. And I put up the question there. Best and worst rematches. And I said we're changing up how we're doing our top 10 list to include our friendos and the Going in Raw community. Help us out and let us know your best and worst pro wrestling rematches. And we're going to do this every week because we want your guys in Twitter. Sometimes I could just get lost in Twitter. Like, you'll post it and then like Twitter won't let me go back too far. And it's just a mess. So here's a way we can just put it. It's concentrated. We have the question, we have the post, and we can see all your comments. And then we can incorporate those into Count Out, our new show here on the channel. And so I'm really excited about this. So when Amino Apps came to us and said, hey, you guys want to do their paid sponsorship? We said, yes. And I was thinking, they said, well, we'd like to do, try to find a way to integrate it somehow, something interesting you do. I was like, I can't think of a better idea than to have you guys use the app to sort of join the discussion of our programming.
Yes.
So anyways, want to give a shout out to Amino Apps. It was always great working with you guys.
Yes.
Check it out. It's in the description. You guys can check it out right there.
Yes.
All right, Larson, time to get into the pro wrestling news.
Yeah.
Time to get into the meat of the show.
So our first story. There were reports earlier this week, or over the weekend. Was it over the weekend? Well, hold on. That Sin Cara and Chris Jericho got into an altercation on a bus.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Transporting WWE wrestlers to Glasgow, I believe.
Yeah. Now, we've talked about this a little bit on our Raw and SmackDown show, but some people out there might just want the news, and so they only listen to the dirt sheet.
Yeah.
And so we've been talking about this a little bit, and we speculated a little bit as to why or what Sin Cara, because the report was he was sitting, did the report say the back of the bus? No.
I don't recall.
Okay, me neither. But we're just going to say, he was sitting in the back of the bus making noise. The report actually did say he was making noises.
Yeah, that were annoying people on the bus.
So when they asked him to stop, Chris Jericho apparently said, you're going to be on the list if you don't stop making these noises. Sin Cara, just like that, laid into him. Chris Jericho evidently bit his finger. And then Sin Cara was then dumped from the bus.
Yeah.
So many questions here.
I know.
First and foremost, the most important one, what noises was Sin Cara making?
Well, we speculated on that, didn't we?
There's only one real noise that really could be. There's a couple of them. Okay, so the first most obvious one, of course, is he's just sitting there making fart noises. Right? And in my mind, he's got his mask on except for right here because he doesn't have like a mouth. He's like, right?
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay, so when we went to NXT,
we went
to the NXT show, there was a guy on the other side of the ring from us in the crowd.
Yeah.
Because we kept on, where's this noise coming from?
Yeah.
And it was a guy going,
yeah, it sounded like he was moaning in pain.
He was either moaning in pain or making a cow noise directed towards maybe Samoa Joe or the Authors of Pain, which number was a bad idea. But maybe if he's saying that they're bigger dudes, maybe that's what, I don't know. I'm not in his head. But he seemed like eventually I pinpointed the guy and I was like, he's just some asshole.
Yeah.
And he thought he was very funny.
Not funny.
Not funny. No, it was really distracting. He was all,
yeah, this was during the main event.
It was during the main event. So maybe Sin Cara, maybe this is like a new Illuminati wrestling thing. Maybe like wrestlers are going to start popping up going, maybe it was that. What other noises could it have been? I don't know.
I don't know either.
It's either a fart noise or a loud, painful moan.
Yeah.
It's one of the two.
Yeah, those seem like the most likely scenarios.
Question number 2. He got dumped off the bus. Where did he go? How did he get to the arena?
Well, we might have an answer for this.
Let's Sin Cara.
Let's continue this news story. So earlier in the week, there were reports that Sin Cara was being asked to go to anger management classes.
Oh, yeah. Somebody says, hey,
because this is the second incident this year.
Stop making fart noises.
Where he got into a physical altercation with a fellow superstar.
Of course, the first time was when he threw a Dr. Pepper can at Simon Gotch's face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So today, according to PW Insider, as I guess a form of punishment for Sin Cara, this is the phrasing that PW Insider used, that he's being exiled to SmackDown And they made it seem like in their report it was just for the remainder of the European tour.
Okay.
But other outlets have made it seem like he's going to SmackDown permanently. So it's unclear which is the case.
Are they just taking him out of the Cruiserweight division?
Maybe.
Remember he was in the Cruiserweight division.
Yeah, he seemed to be getting something, kind of a push.
Well, by virtue of there's like a smaller roster there, and he's a bigger guy, he just was there more. I mean, he was visible. So
yeah, but he was on
kind of a push.
He was on TV consistently, and he was generally on the winning teams.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. Okay. It's kind of a push-ish.
Yeah. So apparently also officials were considering sending him home following this altercation, but instead they just sent him to SmackDown.
How is it? How is buying or how is like throwing a Dr. Pepper can at somebody's head not considered a wellness violation? Because you're contributing to the illness of somebody else. So he should have been suspended for that wellness policy.
You mean by throwing the can or
throwing the can? He should, because he's contributing to the illness. What's the opposite of wellness? Illness of somebody else.
I'm trying to understand.
I know you can't suspend like marijuana. You can't suspend cocaine.
I'm trying to understand.
But in CARA, you can suspend.
I'm trying to understand if what you mean by the wellness policy violation, the throwing of the can.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. What did you think I meant?
I don't know.
What was the other side of that though? What else could it have been?
Well, I don't know. Like he was putting a can of Dr. Pepper within close proximity to Simon Gotch. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he's like me and doesn't ingest sugar. And so like he's putting, potentially having the can break in Simon Gotch's face and
all that. No, I'm saying throwing it.
Okay.
And hitting the guy. That should be.
I didn't know. Yeah, because
this time, I mean,
soda's not good for you. That's why I thought you were alluding to.
No, that's bad too. But he should be suspended because having to listen to somebody make fart noise in the back of the. I think fart noises are funny, but if somebody keeps on doing it, I'm trying to listen to my 538 podcast.
Yeah, imagine if I made fart noises throughout an entire show.
Oh my gosh, it'd be horrible. It'd be, nobody wants that show. Nobody wants to listen to that shit. And so, he should be suspended because you're contributing to the illness of the other's psychological being.
Mentally.
Yes. Exactly. And emotionally.
Yes.
So, he should be suspended, but instead they busted him down to SmackDown? To do what?
I don't know.
I mean, is it because like now they can have Baron Corbin ragdoll him like Baron Corbin ragdolls Kalisto?
Well, I guess we kind of need answers to whether he is being sent to SmackDown permanently or if he is just being moved over to the SmackDown roster for the remainder of the European shows.
Is that to keep him away from Chris Jericho?
I would think so.
The rest of the Raw bus.
I would think so.
You think they travel in different buses, in separate buses?
Yeah.
You think so?
I think because they're going to different cities.
Oh, that makes sense then. Yeah, you can't have like, cross rosters on different buses and they go to one city and they have to go to different cities. That logically doesn't make any sense.
No.
Okay. So yeah, that's all weird. I want Sin Cara to get busted down to whatever fucking place he was before he was in the WWE. Because quite frankly, he seems like a royal pain in the ass. I'm sorry. I don't like people losing their jobs, but I'm sure Simon Gotch, he could be a son of a bitch, or he could be a really nice guy. In any event, he got a soda can thrown at his head. You know what I mean?
If reports are to be believed, yes.
That's not really a proper way to take care of your business. And if some guy is on a bus and he's sitting there making fart noises, I don't really want him in the company. You know what I mean? Like that to me is like, dude, you're working for the biggest wrestling company in the world. You're probably making a pretty penny. You should appreciate that a bit more. In that case, it's like, I don't mind if he gets fired. That's just annoying. Send him home. That's strike 2, buddy. Strike 3, if you crap in somebody's duffel bag, you're done. I don't know. It's not good.
And I hope, I hope it's a scenario where they're just moving him to the SmackDown roster short term.
Yeah.
To separate him from the Raw roster.
Yeah.
Because it would seem strange to me to move him to SmackDown permanently in what would essentially be punishment.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they shouldn't view SmackDown as the lesser brand.
I would really doubt that's the case.
I would
really doubt that's the case. John Cena's on that brand.
I know.
The world champion AJ Styles is on that brand.
I know. Randy Orton's on that
I'd really
brand.
doubt they'd consider that.
Yes.
So Anyways, more news. We want more news.
Yeah.
More but better.
Yeah. So Hulk Hogan is back in the news.
Yeah, he's WrestleMania. WrestleMania 33. He's going to be facing off against who's his opponent at WrestleMania 33? Because this was the big news. TMZ spoke with Brooke Hogan. She said that, quote, people have been calling him for WrestleMania. Oh, so it's not going to happen.
No.
That's the news.
Yes.
On Eric Bischoff's podcast, Hogan said, so anyway, brother, Brooks running around on TMZ, brother. You know, Hogan probably has to hate TMZ because they're no different than Gawker. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They'll release a freaking blowjob tape. And made the statement about, he said she's been on TMZ and made the statement about me and wrestling and WrestleMania. For the record, she needs the big boot to the head, brother. He said that. She needs the big boot to the head. That's his words. He says, I haven't talked to anybody about Mania. I just need to put that to rest. I asked Brooke, what are you doing, brother? She says, oh, I'm just starting it up. I said, thanks, Brooke. It was kind of funny. I said, no harm, no foul. It's all in good fun. So she's just getting a rise out of people. She's on to TMZ asks, hey, what about your father, brother? And she's like, he's at Mania. He's coming back.
Confirmed, main event.
Confirmed for the main event. He's going to break the Undertaker streak. So that does beg the question, though. Are we actually interested in seeing Hogan at WrestleMania 33? No, you're not.
No.
You know, dude, at this point, to me, it'd be like, if I go to WrestleMania, if I spend the money to go all the way to WrestleMania, which we're going to do.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in the awkward position of asking myself, should I root for this guy or not? You know what I mean? I don't want to be sitting there thinking, I don't want to validate this guy's behavior because he said some really messed up things, some very hurtful things. And granted, it was in private, but still, he said them. They were on tape. They got released. I don't really want to be put in a position where I'm like, I feel gross rooting that Hogan's back, even though like I'm kind of like, oh wow, it's Hulk Hogan. You know, he's Hulk Hogan. You know, it's a lot of conflicting feelings there, and I don't really want that.
I don't either.
I want to go there and check my brain at the door.
Yes,
that's the excitement of going to WrestleMania, is not having to think about these existential crises.
Yes.
So I'm not really interested in seeing him. It wouldn't surprise me if they brought him in for an appearance. Preceded, hopefully, by a Legends with JBL interview where he gets to explain himself and they promote the shit out of it. And so there's at least some sort of like, okay, well, I know that, look, I know this guy had to eat a lot of shit. You know, we saw him cry on TV to whoever it was, Katie Couric or Good Morning America, whatever it was. And I'm sure that he's got plenty of remorse. I'm sure he's got obviously plenty of regret. But I don't, you know, if it was preceded by that, then I would be better about it. If he convinced me that it's all good.
If he convinced you that he was genuinely contrite and genuinely made an effort to
understand why he did that.
Yeah, but also like you know, he beyond just apologizing to say, okay, I have made efforts to reform my way of thinking.
Exactly.
And then if he does those things, all right, maybe. Maybe.
But if it's just straight up, hey, here's Hogan, I don't want that.
It's going to be awkward.
This is awkward.
Yeah, it's going to feel awkward.
Yeah. It's not good.
And like we saw him at WrestleMania 31.
Mm-hmm. It was rad. It was fun. It was great. It was Hogan.
Yeah, it was fine.
You know, it was before we knew that he said really rude things. Anyways, Brooke Hogan, she's just trying to get what is she doing these days?
I have no idea.
I never cared in the first place. I never watched that show, the Brooke Hogan show, whatever it was.
Because she was in TNA for a while.
Yeah, that's right, she was.
And then that's the last I heard.
Yeah.
Of what she was doing. I have no idea what she's doing now.
Didn't she do some songs? What was that?
That was part of the story, the narrative that was going through Hogan Knows Best, and I think the spin-off show that was focused on her.
Yeah.
Was her trying to start her music career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But obviously it's never gone anywhere. So she's just living off that. Now she's living off that Gawker money, probably. So much money, brother. What was it, $31 million he ended up getting?
Yeah, I think that was the
I
settlement.
wonder how much of a cut Peter Thiel got. Think the majority? Maybe not.
I don't know.
Because that's you're using somebody that's basically like, you know, you're raking their name through the mud, basically. It's like, hey, go through this. 50-50 split. But he's a billionaire. What does he need with that money?
Yeah.
He doesn't need money.
Yeah.
Give me some of that money, brother. Let's see here. This is a really, really cool story.
Yes.
I'm very excited about this.
Yes. And before, this is a pretty recent revelation. But even before this, there were reports that. Anyway, we'll get into this, and I'll talk about the other story related to this.
The Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels.
Well, did he call himself the Icon? That was just Sting. No, he did. The Icon.
The Icon.
Showstopper. Yeah, okay.
The Showstopper, yeah.
So, yeah.
Apparently, he is maybe leading. He's the new head trainer at the WWE Performance Center, or he's there in some capacity.
Hall and Nash and X-Pac appeared on the Kevin Gill show, and during their appearance...
Why aren't they appearing on the Going in Raw show?
I don't know.
We're number 34.
And Kevin Nash mentioned that HBK, this is as Nash put it, is the head of the WWE Performance Center in Orlando, Florida.
Yeah.
Quote, he says, how many people, including the two guys to my left, know that the new head of the WWE Performance Center is Shawn Michaels? Yeah. He continues, oh yeah, he's moving to Florida with the family and everything. If you thought that NXT was something, wait till that son of a bitch gets down there and gives them his magic.
Yeah.
There's nobody better than him. Physically, nobody better. Psychologically, nobody better. It's going to be a game changer. I don't know what the hell they're paying him, but it's got to be a lot, because to get Shawn to do the 9 to 5
is basically saying that's a task, So, but then there's, the WWE, they still have Matt Bloom there.
Yes.
Albert, and he's really good.
Yes.
We've seen that in the Breaking Ground show.
And he's the head trainer.
I think he's the head trainer, so maybe Shawn Michaels is just above him, like in terms of, because how much does Matt Bloom have to do with the promo stuff? I thought he just did like the wrestling stuff.
I think that's his focus, yeah.
Yeah, and so, but then there's a promo thing, and it makes me wonder if Shawn Michaels is sort of like, he could just be sort of like a general guru, like a head guru type guy who's there and has his hands wherever he wants it, and he's there all the time to to facilitate things. We have no idea. Hopefully, the WWE will have like an official statement on this.
Yes.
So keep an eye out for that.
But there were also reports earlier this week, if not late last week, that Shawn Michaels had bought out a theater in Orlando to take all the NXT students to see some movie. I can't remember the movie right now.
The Wrestler, Darren Aronofsky.
No, it's a recent release.
Vern Gagne's The Wrestler.
Anyway,
Barred.
Anyway, so
a recent release.
Yeah, but based on that, it seemed like that because there was talk, a while ago that he was
Star Trek and Beyond.
That he was That he was gonna. There was talk that he had been approached about. Taking on a role at the Performance Center.
Yeah. Well, you know what I'm excited about is that I wonder, and it makes me wonder, like, who trained Daniel Bryan?
Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels. And we've seen in Total Bellas that, Daniel Bryan said, I'm still getting over this whole not being able to wrestle thing. I'm wrapping my mind around it.
Yeah.
And training just isn't in my future. But I wonder if the fact that his mentor is now a piece of that puzzle, if maybe that would convince Daniel Bryan, oh, this is cool. It makes me wonder, we've only seen what we've seen on Total Bellas, but it makes me wonder if Daniel Bryan, who he may have been reaching out to for like advice on how to cope with this stuff, because there's plenty of other wrestlers out there who I would imagine, Shawn Michaels retired in '98 and then came back 5 years later. Now, obviously, that's probably not an option for Daniel Bryan.
No, it doesn't seem like it.
It doesn't seem like it. But the human body is an oddball. It's a weird thing. You never know. 5 years from now, maybe he'll be cleared somehow. Maybe, obviously it's doubtful because you're dealing with the brain and not like the back with Shawn Michaels.
Yes.
But, it makes me wonder if he's talked to anybody about this, and especially Shawn Michaels, because he already has a relationship with him.
Yeah.
And if maybe Shawn Michaels can get him, hey, maybe in a year or so, if they say time heals many wounds, if it can't heal the brain, then maybe emotionally he'll be more prepared to take on something.
Let me ask you a question that's only somewhat related to this.
Okie doke.
Because this occurred to me this week, maybe last week. So we've seen, and we'll talk about Total Bellas later. We've seen the entire season.
Yeah.
At least one of us has seen every episode.
Yes, correct.
Daniel, after watching that show, do you view Daniel Bryan's performances on SmackDown differently? Because I feel like I have.
I do, and it's a combination of Total Bellas and various interviews he's given. And the biggest statement didn't come from Total Bellas. The biggest statement for me came from when he said, it was two things actually, and one of them was on Total Bellas, and it kind of took me back, or it kind of took me aback. When he said in an interview, I'm under contract, they say, come do this, I go do it. So it's not a question of, hey, Daniel, do you want to come and be part of the business and do this? It's, you're under contract, you come do this.
Yeah.
And on Total Bellas, when they said, yeah, they just told me to show up at Raw and tell everybody that I'm retiring. And it felt like it wasn't like, hey, you need to, we're gonna talk about this, and you need to announce your retirement on your own time. Do it when you're ready. It's, no, we need this for ratings or something, and we're not going to clear you. So come to, and even if we do clear you a year from now, it's good ratings if you come announce your retirement.
Yeah,
which is fucked up.
Yeah, it is.
What's your take?
I guess I hadn't necessarily thought about it quite in those terms. Just seeing his how hard of a time he's having on Total Bellas, accept his new reality, the fact that he can't wrestle anymore.
Right.
And especially after the episode where he was talking about not wanting to train.
Yeah.
Because if he made it essentially seem like that if he couldn't wrestle, he wanted nothing to do with wrestling.
Yeah.
And watching him on SmackDown before Total Bellas, he seemed like he was into it. He was having a good time.
Yeah.
And I still think that's kind of the case on Talking Smack, where he can be a little looser.
Yeah.
And a little more himself, a little more conversational. But the last 2-3 weeks on SmackDown, it just seems like he is not enjoying it at all.
The other,
and it could just be the fact that he has to deliver lines, it's scripted dialogue.
The other example for me was on Talking Smack when he mentioned Trump, and then he sarcastically said, "Oh, they're telling me to move on because I said the word Trump." That made it sound like he is so over the WWE, because it's just like being in that corporate environment, and it's like, we've got a taste of that before, and anecdotally from people we know in our business, we've gotten a taste of that kind of bullshit that you can put up with. And it's like, even back when I used to do bank jobs, it's like, you're making me do this now? Like, that's stupid. But it's like, they have their focus groups that they fucking spend money on, and now it trickles down all the way to the shitty guy in customer service who doesn't want to do anything past the minimal effort. It's like, I know how to talk to people. Quit talking and telling me how to talk to people. I know how to fucking sell them on CDs.
Yeah.
CDs nuts. I'm sorry. Every time I think of the word CDs, I think of that. Anyways. So no, I think, it's like, dude, obviously he wants to be wrestling.
Yeah.
And
if he can't do that, he doesn't want to be involved with wrestling, it doesn't seem like.
And he comes
at least right now.
He comes from such a culture of, you do it for the love. You grind out these amazing matches with people, and it's an art form.
Yeah.
And then when you get to the WWE, it's like, for a while you can take that art form to the biggest stage and have all these people wrapped around your finger, and that's your success, is putting on these amazing matches in front of huge crowds of people. And then this company who has their people saying you can't do it, even though your people are saying you can, up to a degree. We know that changed.
Yeah.
But everything just stops for you. And then to have to go through these motions where you're getting notes and having scripts given to you, and
sorry to interrupt. He did seem like he was genuinely having a good time when he was commentating the CWC.
Yeah, he did.
He seemed into it.
Yeah, he did seem into it. And then there are certain times, like when he was announcing that Shane is the next guy for the Survivor Series, like that performance in the ring, I noticed, was legit. But you're absolutely right. There's so many that just feel like he's going through the motions. Yep. And then, when you take Total Bellas into account, and when you hear him talk about, I still feel fine and I think that I could do it. And it's like, it has to be soul sucking.
Yeah.
It has to be soul. Like, I feel like Daniel Bryan is, and the only thing we know is what we've seen on TV, because, we've interviewed a couple people, and it's like you can kind of get a feel for people. But Daniel Bryan, just knowing sort of like what his politics are, and knowing like where he's coming from and how he kind of appreciates the artistry of things.
Yes.
He seems like a creative guy.
Yes.
seems like he'd be a fun guy to sort of talk. Like I think that I would probably get along with him better than a lot of the people in the company who I would have absolutely no, I'm like, I don't know what's going on in your head, dude. But Dan Bryan seems like a guy that we'd probably be friends with, if we knew him like growing up or whatever,
Yeah.
And it's just a bummer to see somebody like that, who's obviously a creative guy, have to be a GM or whatever he is, commissioner or whatever he is. So it's a total bummer. But maybe if he got advice from guys like Shawn Michaels, guys that he looked up to and who have been kind of in the same predicament, maybe that'd give him some peace of mind. But I'm assuming he's doing whatever's best for him.
Yeah, totally.
This is an outsider's point of view.
It's cool that Shawn Michaels is going to be overseeing the Performance Center, though.
Think I'm cute. You're sexy. I know. That's what he should implement is, look.
Is that part of promo class? Is everybody's got to try to sing their own theme song?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Cass is like, oh, yeah, I already do that, too. Oh, baby, I like it raw. Fewer pay-per-views in 2017. Oh, no. Fewer pay-per-views in 2017.
Yeah.
That's less things for us to talk about and make money on.
That's a good point.
What a rip.
So, a Wrestling Observer reported that apparently, this is according to Wrestling Observer, due to the decline in WWE Network subscribers from the second quarter to third.
Yeah. And that more pay-per-views didn't mean more subscribers.
Yes.
Yeah.
WWE may be considering having fewer pay-per-views in 2017.
Oh, no.
As of now, the only pay-per-views confirmed for next year are the Rumble, Fastlane, WrestleMania, and SummerSlam.
Who'd have thought that Fastlane would be the new Survivor Series? Like, this is the new Big Four. These are the only pay-per-views happening in 2017.
No, confirmed so far.
The Royal Rumble?
Survivor Series will be happening.
Fastlane, WrestleMania, and SummerSlam. The only pay-per-views happening. 2017. Confirmed. No, those are the only ones that they have actually set in stone.
Yes.
These are ones going to happen. And so they're just thinking of it's kind of interesting because like we originally got the word that they're doing more pay-per-views because
of the brand split. Yeah.
Of the brand split, but also they got those fancy trucks with the new technology, which made producing content for the network cheaper.
Yes.
But apparently, there's money to be lost.
Let me ask you something.
Okay.
What about instead of having 8 months out of the year, both brands having a pay-per-view, what if for those 8 months they alternated?
Yeah.
So
that's what they used to do.
Yeah, I think they did it for a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So each brand, apart from the major 4 pay-per-views, have 2 months or so to build up storylines leading up into their matches. At
what would be cool?
The larger shows.
What if they did what if in maybe one, and so like what if they did like for each brand for like Raw, you had a Raw pay-per-view, but the month that they did a Raw pay-per-view, SmackDown, they do a house show. They like tape a house show and try to give you a different vibe, a different feel.
Kind of like a network special?
Yeah, like a network special. Kind of like how they've been producing the latest NXTs.
Yeah.
Because what a great selling point for your live shows. Because a lot of people don't know, hey, we've got these great live shows out here. Oh, well, just a house show.
And, no, by and large, it's a different experience.
Yeah, it totally is. Yeah. And it's unique and it's so much fun in its own right.
Yeah.
And it's like you lose spectacle, but you gain intimacy.
You do. I would wonder though, because granted, I haven't been to a lot of house shows, but I've been to a couple, and they tend to the wrestlers, the talents tend to be a little looser, a little goofier.
I know, and I know.
And I don't know if they would want to do that on a televised product. Maybe not to that extent. Like, can you imagine? Yeah. I mean, I could be completely wrong, but for example, at the NXT house show we went to, the Bobby Roode No Way Jose match, the first 6 minutes of that. There was no wrestling.
Yeah, I know.
It was just funny comedy stuff.
Here's how you would do it.
And I don't know if they would do that.
That's probably one of the bigger points to be made. But if you do it without the commentary, like no commentary, just present the house show itself, and you keep all that stuff in, and it's like, yeah. My thing is they probably would hesitate to do it because of that. Or that might be one of the reasons.
I will say though that all that whole comedy segment was all it all revolved around those two wrestlers' characters. It wasn't like they broke character.
Yeah, they weren't breaking character. And sometimes like, but here's one thing though, is like they'll show in their classic Raws on the network, they go after the TV show went off. So they'll show like what happened afterwards.
Oh, okay.
Where sometimes they don't break character, but okay, for example, there was that episode of Raw where the Rock and Sock connection was starting to form and Mick was trying to get a hug out of the Rock and he said no. They go off the air and then we pick it back up on the network. You can see Rock comes back out and eventually gets his hug.
Oh, okay.
So it's little moments like that where it's not necessarily breaking character, but it's crowd service with leaving the home crowd or the TV crowd sort of hanging, which is what they want to do.
Yes.
And so putting it on the network though, without commentary, just the way they did, and it doesn't have to be live. You know, you get a couple of cameras like we have, like the cameras they're using in NXT.
Yeah.
You film it like that, and it's like, yeah, you see him in like but that is such a selling point.
Yeah.
Because so many people don't know that that's what house shows are like, that they amplify the fun in lieu of the spectacle.
Yeah, and you know, there were some reports earlier this year that house show attendance was down.
Mm-hmm. What better way to sell the house shows than by having a couple of yokels with a camera running around, capturing the essence of it, put it together, and slap it on the network? And that's a really cheap way of replacing a pay-per-view. And it's got arguably the same entertainment value.
And be a perfect way to introduce the network title.
Yeah, there you go. Network title. I like it. At every house show has to be defended. Yeah.
Well,
every network house show.
Yes.
I think it'd be a good idea. If anybody's out there listening, then that's a good idea.
And also, you know, they can break into network programming.
Yeah.
For a defense.
Yeah.
Like during a house show.
During a house show, exactly. Yeah.
That'd be
just
cool.
Showing up at the bus station.
Did you watch NXT last night?
Yeah, I did actually. I did. Yeah.
It was a fun show.
No, it was a really good show. DIY versus the Authors of Pain.
Good
was
match.
A hell of a match.
Great match.
Hell of a match. Corey Graves on fire too.
Yeah.
That was the greatest thing I've ever seen, Tom Phillips. That was great. Brutal match. The Authors of Pain are very creative with how they destroy people.
Yes.
Power bombing people into other people as they're being thrown into them. Power bombing people on top of people. DIY put up a hell of a fight.
Yep.
And it was only because
of the revival.
Those damn revival boys.
Did Scott Dawson seem hurt?
No. He was faking it. He was healing it. He healed.
Yes.
Yeah. No, it was a lot of fun. It was a good match.
Yeah, it was a really good match.
I love the aesthetic of the, because this was the LA show.
Yeah. The Hollywood Palladium.
That's right. Yeah. Who have we seen there? Who have I seen there?
I don't know. Yeah, I saw Queens of the Stone Age there.
Oh yeah, I saw their show in, was it Ventura? I think it was Ventura.
Was it the Ventura Theater?
Maybe, yeah, I think so.
I saw them there once too.
Yeah. With the Eagles of Death Metal opening up. Let's see here. We had Ty Dillinger interview.
Good interview.
It was a good interview. Yeah, good interview. Free flowing.
He seems natural. Very comfortable.
He's very comfortable. He's the most intercontinental champion that they have right now.
I know.
That guy is so intercontinental.
I can't wait till he becomes the Intercontinental Champion.
I love Sanity's. Sanity's theme makes me want to go out and listen to some Primus.
That's exactly what it sounds like.
I was never a huge Primus fan.
Nor was I.
But that song, that theme music makes me want to go back and listen to some Primus. I want to, now because of Sanity, I want to listen to Primus.
Okay. I was happy to see
My name is Mud.
Eric Young get involved.
Yeah, I know, me too.
Before the match.
They all seem so like savage and unpredictable and unhinged.
I know.
It's great. I love it. It's so unique for a faction.
I know. And TM61 is pretty good.
They're growing on me.
Yes.
They're growing on me. I like them. Ever since Ulysses the Commissioner pointed out that the guy in blue has a big dick.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Bobby Roode interview. He's glorious.
Yeah.
I think I actually missed that interview, to be honest with you. I watched this next one, though. Rachel Evers versus Ember Moon. Ember Moon's she's a stud.
Yep.
She's fantastic.
Yep.
That fucking top rope stunner shit is great.
It's fantastic.
It just lands it. It looks so brutal.
I know.
It's fantastic. And, I love this. The Shinsuke Nakamura Samoa Joe contract signing. So Regal comes out, Nakamura comes out, and he's got a whole bunch of low level NXT prospects as security
some
guys.
Performance Center students.
Yeah, exactly. There's like 6 of them.
Yeah.
As security guys.
In the ring.
In the ring to hold them back. So Shinsuke hits the ring, then Joe doesn't come out.
Well, his music hits. He starts to walk out, and then he goes backstage and comes out with a table and a chair and then sits on the stage talking to Regal, and it was fantastic.
So the entire the ramp, like the entrance ramp, is like separating them basically.
Yeah,
like he's at the top of the ramp,
and he's sitting in the chair, puts his feet up on the table.
Yeah,
so good.
Yeah, oh, he's great. Joe was fantastic. And he basically says, "What does he say?" Because I sort of got distracted when he was actually talking.
Ultimately, he's
like, "I'm not coming in there."
Yeah, he said, "Regal, bring me the contract, so I can sign it."
Yeah, Regal has to. Poor Regal. He's like a freaking daycare operator. He just has to do. You got to do it, Regal. Yeah. Dealing with these children. So he does that. He brings the contract over to Shinsuke, who then proceeds to demonstrate in front of Samoa Joe why Shinsuke is like the meanest guy ever. Because he just, for no reason, he destroys all 6 guys at once.
Yeah.
Finishing with a power bomb through the table for that poor last sap.
And then he signed the contract.
And then put it on the guy. That poor guy. I didn't know Shinsuke Nakamura had a friggin' power bomb.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Rad.
Did you notice at the end of the show when Shinsuke and Joe were staring at each other, that Regal's in the background? He opens up the binder with the contract in it. He's like checking to make sure the signatures were fine.
The details are there. That's great.
It was pretty good.
I did see when it was great because if you look at Regal when Nakamura is destroying those 6 guys, he's just like,
I know.
I'm gonna have to pay out insurance on these guys. I have to pay out insurance now, thanks to Nakamura. What was I thinking? I should have only brought 3 out because it didn't matter.
I know.
My goodness.
It was so good.
He's always just fraught with administrative issues.
I know.
Oh, dear. So much paperwork to do here at NXT.
You know, speaking of guys,
he looked me in the eye and shook my hand.
I know.
Great.
Guys that Daniel Bryan hopefully has talked to.
Yeah.
Regal should be another one.
Oh, you'd think so.
Because Regal had a hand in his training as well.
Yeah.
I think he and Daniel Bryan are pretty close.
Daniel Bryan, listen to me. Brian Danielson, listen to me. You'll be fine.
And Regal had to retire because of neck issues?
Yeah, but Regal had like an 80-year career.
Oh, I know.
He had
Daniel Bryan's been wrestling for a long time.
Yeah, but I'm talking about 80 years in the WWE alone. When did Regal retire? How old was he when he retired?
I don't know.
I was 76.
Probably in his early 40s.
Early 40s.
I'm guessing.
And Bryan was only 30-something.
Early mid-30s.
He's a man.
You want to answer some questions?
Such a man. When did he retire?
Regal's only.
When did he debut?
How
old is Regal?
He's 48.
Holy shit! He's only 10 years older than me.
He debuted in '83.
Oh my god! When did he retire?
So when he was 15, and he retired in
like 2009 or something.
Yeah,
right?
Seems potentially right. Well, he's the Raw general manager in 2007.
Yeah, but he came back to he was still wrestling a little bit.
Okay, so yeah, so it must have been 2009, 2010.
Around there. Let's see. Let's even say it's 2007. Let's say it's 2007.
All right, that's not helpful.
King of the Ring 2009, because I know he won King of the Ring pretty. Oh, here we go. Won the 2008 King of the Ring. Okay. So let's even say 2008. That's a really long time.
Yeah.
What is that? What's the math on that one?
83 to 2008.
Yeah.
25 years.
25 years. And Daniel Bryan had 15? 20?
Something like that.
Daniel Bryan Danielson.
Because Daniel Bryan is 35.
Okay.
Started in 99 and retired this year. So that's 17.
Versus 25, yeah. But still, to reach the top only to have it pulled away from you, that's horrifying, dude. That's horrifying. And it's like with Regal, I think it was like a buildup of injuries.
Yeah.
It's like, and on top of that, it's like you've already been doing it for 25 years, and so much of that was on the biggest stage. Like even WCW is a pretty big stage,
yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And he was doing that since at least like 1991 or something like that.
Yeah, something like that, yeah. You want to answer some questions?
Yeah, answer some questions now. Jimmy Figueroa. Hey, friendos, if you were in a hobby club or anything, what kind of club would it be? A book club, survival club? And which current WWE men, women wrestlers would be in it with you? I like that. If he assumes that if I join a club, some WWE wrestlers will come with me.
Yeah.
Boy, I really needed some powder for my shine today. I'm going to do that during questions.
Okay. All right, so a hobby club, like a book club.
Yeah, I'd be like in a graphic novel club because I like comic books.
So which superstars would be in this club?
Oh, I think I know CM Punk likes comics.
Yes.
I think Seth Rollins is a comic guy. Who's a comic? Xavier Woods being there. That guy's a bigger geek than I am. What kind of club could you be in? You want some powder for your shine?
No, thank you.
Like that. Shine gone. Magic. How's my forehead look?
Good.
Okay.
I want to start like a cover band.
Okay.
Like,
that's good.
You know, we practice on the weekends, play occasional shows.
Who would be in it with you? Who's amazing?
Well, Xavier
Jericho. Talk is Jericho, baby.
Xavier Woods.
Is he a musical guy?
He plays the trombone.
That's true. Not very well though.
I don't know who else is a musician.
Yeah, I would think Bailey can play like tambourine. She'd be a good tambourine person.
Because I play guitar.
Yeah.
So we have a vocalist, Jericho.
Jericho.
A trombonist,
yeah.
Xavier Woods.
Bonist. Yeah.
Guitarist, me.
Yeah.
Need a drummer and a bass player.
Who plays drums in the WWE?
I have no idea.
Somebody has to, you'd think.
But that's what I would do.
And then, you, like in your audience, would be Seth Rollins headbanging.
Mm-hmm.
He likes the music. I've listened to some of the bands that he's pushed before though.
Yeah.
And usually they're crap. It's that like wannabe punk stuff, but then they try to sing like a girl. You know, it's like, oh, I don't know. I can't describe it. It always cracks me up though, because they always the acts always look hardcore, like they have like sleeves and shit.
Yeah.
They'll wear like black, and then you listen to their shit. Anyways, move on.
The A-Man Aziz. Do you think any of these guys eventually deserve a Hall of Fame induction? Sheamus? Yes or no?
No.
Yeah, he'll get in.
He's had a couple world titles.
He'll get in. Kofi? Yes.
Over Sheamus, yeah.
Cody Rhodes?
I'm very picky about my Hall of Fame. No, not Cody Rhodes.
Zack Ryder?
No.
Alberto Del Rio?
No. I'm very picky about who gets in. Vader needs to get in before any of these guys.
R-Truth?
Yeah, because I love R-Truth. He's been around forever.
And
probably doesn't deserve it, though.
Dolph will get in.
Dolph will get in, yeah. Everybody here except for Cody and Ryder will probably get in. Kofi, probably not. Sheamus, probably. I don't know.
You don't think Kofi will get in? He's a multi-time tag champion.
Yeah,
he's a
Kofi will get in.
You're
just letting everybody in, though. At that point, you're letting everybody in. He's never held the world title.
No, but he's
that
held
should be
pretty much
number one stipulation.
Everything else.
Yeah, that's true. He has. I know, but has he ever been an Impact guy? I don't know. I don't like any of these names.
You don't like Dolph?
Except for R-Truth. Dolph is like a... I don't know. Okay, here's the thing. If the freaking Godfather's in, if Sex Trafficker's in, then yeah, all these guys should be in because they're all better than him. I like Charles Wright.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I wanted to be picky.
I understand that.
I wanted to be picky.
But I think he's asking this question based on the criteria laid out by WWE, not necessarily our own.
Does Sid get in before these guys? Does Sid get in the Hall of Fame?
I'm not sure why Sid hasn't gone in yet.
Sid should be already in.
But so should Vader.
But it's the Hall. Oh, yeah. Vader should regardless. Vader should be in.
Yeah.
I'm saying I don't even know if Sid really should be in.
Well, he's a multi-time world champion across multiple organizations.
I know, but
he's a terrible wrestler.
Given their criteria, then everybody here should get in except for Cody Rhodes.
Well, Zack Ryder probably shouldn't either. He's won the U.S. title once and
not Zack Ryder.
The IC title once.
I know, but who else has been able to manifest their imaginary friend? That's pretty impressive. He's been able to make money for the company via two people, himself.
I know. Okay, that's a fair point. Sorry.
R-Truth is good.
Yeah, R-Truth is good.
Yeah. Dolph is good.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's too early to tell. It's too early. Is Christian in?
Yeah.
Christian's in the Hall of Fame?
How many times has he won? Was he a tag champion?
No. I'm saying, is he in?
Oh, not now. No. He will be, though. He will be. Yeah.
Shouldn't be.
He's a 12.
Shouldn't be.
A 12-time tag champion.
Shouldn't be.
How many times did he have the?
Yeah, because he was with Edge.
How many times did he have the
legitimately should be in the Hall of Fame, and I think he is.
He is.
Yeah.
How many times did Christian have the Intercontinental title? Multiple.
Everybody's had the Intercontinental title.
Doesn't matter. He's going in. Guarantee it.
So many people have had the Intercontinental title.
He'll go in. He's a world champion.
Again, the Bushwhackers are in, so any of these people can get it.
But you know what? Me personally, the only thing I know about the Bushwhackers is from their work in the WWF.
Didn't they do like amazing things in Australia?
Well, I know they did other stuff outside the WWF.
Yeah.
That I just don't know about.
Yeah.
So they could be deserving. I don't know.
Bushwhackers are in. All these people. So many. Like, we should look at the lineup of the Hall of Fame and determine who should be and who should be kicked out.
Well, we'll save that for a countdown show.
Okay, sounds good.
Gene the Grappler.
Yes.
His question is, since Rhino did not win to become president of Michigan, how much longer do you think WWE will keep the tag belts on Rhino and Slater, or do you think they will have a long reign?
It's going to be longer now.
Yeah.
It's going to be longer now. I like that he just opted not to campaign in the last couple weeks or last week or whatever because he was with the WWE. I wonder if you look at his poll numbers and be like, ooh, I'm getting gored. Kevin O'Neill, do you guys think that Sanity would have been better if it was the Ascension repackaged with Eric? No. No way.
No.
Start fresh.
Yep. Infinite Drop Kicks. Hey, friendos, new patron here. My question is that if both of you were hosting a party,
nice,
which 10 superstars on the current roster would you like to invite, and who would be your drinking partner?
Oh, man, okay.
So we're having a party.
Yeah. Who would you like to invite to the party?
10 superstars.
Okay. Which of the divas are already married? Let's see. I don't think Charlotte's married.
Sasha is reportedly
She's
married.
married.
Yeah.
Bailey.
Is she married?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I would bring Sasha. I'm sorry, Charlotte. Bailey. Sasha's probably cool, though. We've interviewed her. She can come with her husband. The club. I would definitely bring the club. All three of them.
Great answer.
Yeah, the club, definitely.
Dean Ambrose.
No, I don't want him at my party.
Why?
He's going to cause trouble. I want it to be like a relatively mellow affair. But then with lots of sex. Sex. Vince. I want Vince to be there.
Man.
I want Vince to be there. What is this? Some sort of party? Where's the women? Vince, you lecherous scumbag. Who wants some cocaine?
Oh my.
Vince, that's a direct violation of the wellness policy.
So how many is that? Vince?
Well, it's everybody.
The club.
Yeah.
Charlotte. Sasha.
Vince gets hammered. AJ,
Bailey.
I should have signed you 10 years ago.
That's 7. We need 3 more. Oh, Dean, that's 8.
I don't think AJ drinks, so he'll be like just fun to talk, sit, kick back, and like make fun of the drunk people with. He's like, "Hey, Steve, look at Vince over there." I'm loving this. And then who's that? How many is that?
I think 8.
That's 8. Big E.
Yeah,
he seems like a fun guy.
I was gonna say the New Day.
I know, but then Xavier's going to play video games. That's annoying. I don't want to play video games at a party. I want to get hammered.
Okay.
I want to have a blast.
Okay.
I think that guy's not I don't think he parties. Who else parties? Seth Rollins, bring him in.
Okay.
Start taking pictures of his dingus and sending them out to everybody. Seth, don't get drunk. You're going to take pictures of your dingus. It's going to end up on TMZ.
Kobe Rosenthal. Hey, friendos, if Miz were drafted to Raw, what do you see him doing there? Won't he disappear in the shuffle? I'm not sure what he would do. Would he...
He'd host Miz TV. He'd go back to hosting Miz TV. He was good
Would he feud with Reigns for the U.S. title?
Oh, yeah. I could see that. That'd probably be his main thing.
Yeah.
Or Jericho. If Jericho was a face.
Yeah.
Which is probably going to happen soon.
Yeah.
Anthony Kniper. Is that right? Hey, friendos, how's it going? Me being a big double fan, Austin Aries. Would you prefer to see him on SmackDown or Raw? He thinks SmackDown would benefit the most. He'd look great with that belt and would be a great contender for IC belt.
Yeah.
And be a great contender for the World Championship. I kind of agree. He feels to me like a SmackDown guy.
Yes.
I feel SmackDown for Austin Aries.
I do too. Kobe Felt. It's your reigning and defending Terra Universal Champion here.
Ooh, a Terra belt.
Kobe has massive support for what we do. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So he became a new patron. Thank you very
Kobe.
much. And Kobe recently stumbled across an old reaction video to TNA Victory Road 2009 on the interwebs, which featured probably the worst women's match in history between Jenna Maraska and Sharmell, a match we talked about on our countdowns over the weekend. And if you haven't seen it, it's a train wreck. Mm-hmm. It is. But that got me to thinking, what is the biggest disaster of a match you've personally seen live or on pay-per-view?
Nothing will ever beat seeing a guy get lit on fire live.
Yeah.
Like you'll never. Oh, okay. It's twofold. It's twofold because of sheer entertainment value. So Supreme getting lit on fire at XPW was horrifying.
Yes.
But then on the flip side of things, we went to an SPW show here. It's a local show, and they had a fans bring your own weapons match, and we literally had to get up and stand towards the back. I mean, I had my stepkid with me, and he was probably like 10 at the time. We had to go to the back of the gymnasium that it was being held at and watch these people go at it because I just knew. I was like, there are no safety guarantees here. Like, this is such a small indie show. There are no guarantees that somebody's not thinking when they're using some random weapon that somebody brought from their home.
Well, we also need to mention that somebody brought a stick.
Yeah.
Like they ripped a piece off their tree.
It's like they realized...
Well, they didn't just bring a stick; they brought a branch.
A branch, exactly. Yeah, it's like they didn't realize that that was the gimmick, and so when they got there, they're like, "Oh, really? Let's go main event. Let me run outside really quick and find a weapon." Yeah. Ryan Lopez, listening to the Raw is podcast now. Listen to Raw, going to Raw, and you said that Owens and Jericho are referring to them both as Universal Champion, but what I'm seeing, I might be wrong, but Jericho refers to them both as Universal Champion, whereas Owens refers to only himself as champion.
On Raw Talk, Owens said they were both Universal Champion.
Mm-hmm. And then when he said to Jericho, you should win the U.S. belt, he said, then we'll both be Universal and
U.S. Champion.
champion.
Yep. We have a video question.
We have a video question
from Vincent Palmieri.
So, I'm compiling a list, Steveandlarson, and it's a list of the top 10 biggest missed booking opportunities of 2016. I've got 9. Can't come up with the last one. I'm having a hard time. It's been a really big year. I'm going to ask you guys. I'm going to list them off for you real quick, and then you guys come up with the last one. Doesn't necessarily have to be a number 1, but it does need to be a number 10. It needs to be the last missing thing from the list.
Thanks, Vincent. So we trimmed down that question a bit because he sent us like a 7-minute long file. And we told him, hey, you can go ahead and send that out on the Twitter if you want your entire thing so you guys can watch. We'll link to it in the description if he goes ahead and does that.
I'll read off real quick the 9 that he had.
Okay.
Owens booking as Universal Champion. The Lesnar-Ambrose match at WrestleMania.
Okay.
The SmackDown Women's title.
Okay.
Turning Ambrose heel. The Club. Cass. The finish to the Royal Rumble this year. The New Day and the Wyatts feud.
Yes.
And then the women's Hell in a Cell match. Those were the, in his opinion, the 5
biggest missed opportunities in booking. Yeah.
Yes. The one he's missing, I think, is how they handled Reigns at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Because he was hot after beating Sheamus on Raw for the title.
Big time.
And they just blundered it.
Yeah.
Blundered his booking after that.
I'm going to say this, and it's just because, like, NXT, there just seems to be a lack of logic sometimes with how long they keep people around. Like, I understand that they want to build the brand, and having Shinsuke Nakamura there is a great way to do it. But if you just take all that out of the equation, logically, he should not be on NXT still.
Yeah.
He really shouldn't. Samoa Joe should not be on NXT still. They shouldn't be. Ty Dillinger should probably be their world champ right now.
Yeah.
him and Bobby Roode should be feuding for the world title.
Bobby Roode shouldn't be on NXT.
Oh, I said a long time ago he should have been the main event guy immediately.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with them bringing him in. But he's at the point now where, like, once this feud with Ty Dillinger's done, he should be moving on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it should be a pretty quick in and out thing for guys at that level.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like factions like Sanity might use a little bit more time in NXT than, like, Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
You know? Because, like, the people in Sanity, they haven't been around as long.
Yeah.
I mean, Eric Young has. But the other ones, I feel like they're more known on the independent circuit.
Yeah.
And so they could use a bit more time in NXT.
You know, I'd have thought about some of these TNA guys going to NXT.
Yeah.
And I wonder, TNA shoots in Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
They may feel comfortable there. Just in terms of, you know, I'm sure that some of these guys have families.
Yeah.
You know, part of it just might be, you know, they don't want to leave TNA, which I assume, you know, they shot once a month.
Yeah.
Could accept indie bookings when they're not shooting. And otherwise, it seems like for the most part, they could be home.
They might be fine. I mean, they might be okay with it.
Yeah.
But, you know, you're a company. You need to get money out of your talent.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I guarantee, like, Shinsuke's making main roster money. He's making probably huge money.
I'm
Samoa
sure.
Joe's probably making huge money.
Yeah.
You know? So, I don't know. That's my thing is, like, I just think that it's not really a booking thing, but it's like, why is Shinsuke,
more of a business thing.
Why was I able to, like, pay $70 for a front row and I can touch Shinsuke Nakamura?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm happy I was able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, you look very happy.
I was very happy. Thank you. Yeah. So is that the show today? We don't have any trivia questions at the end of the show.
No, we don't do that for the show.
That's a drag. We did want to say one thing though.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of you guys watched the SmackDown episode last week or earlier this week.
Yeah.
Where we were watching the elections for the American elections here in town or here in the country.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see our souls being dwindled away by the results.
Yes.
So it's obvious you guys know where we're coming from on that kind of thing. But I was I'm not going to say I was surprised, but I was very appreciative of the fact that we have a community where we can sit here and do what we do and express to a degree. And I know we're both very careful not to interject our own politics into things, but when it comes up in conversation, like we have no bones about talking about it.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to say it's really nice that our community is so inclusive and respectful.
Yes.
That, like, even when I looked in the YouTube comments of that SmackDown episode, because I noticed that's another reason why I wanted to transition the Top 10 show to a podcast format. Because I noticed when we have conversations, the conversation in the YouTube comments are so much more positive.
Yes.
And there's so much more, it's just healthy wrestling talk.
Yes.
As opposed to, screw you guys, you don't know what you're talking about. And I think that's a matter of presentation.
Yes.
Because we can breathe a lot more and get our point across a lot better when it's a free-flowing conversation. We're bouncing off each other as opposed to sitting there writing a script.
Yes.
And so to see that there was basically zero negativity in, oh, fuck you guys for supporting candidate A and not candidate B, and I'm glad that candidate B went, blah, blah, blah. To see that was very, like, reassuring, and it was very heartwarming for me.
Yes. No, I agree completely. I mean, like, as you said, people being respectful and being inclusive, I know those are values that we both hold dear. Mm-hmm. And it's nice that that's reflected in our community.
Yeah. So we just want to let everybody know, like, it doesn't matter, like, where you lean on what end of whatever political spectrum you lean. If you're happy right now, if you're bummed out right now or scared right now, like, what we do is something like we talk about pro wrestling. And that's something that I think pretty much everybody, regardless of what country you're in, what state you're in, blue, red, purple, whatever, we can all sit around the TV or the internet and we can all watch and we can just not think about that stuff and we can talk about it and we can have these hilariously stupid debates about wrestling. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the day, it can be like, well, that's your opinion and I love you for it. I don't agree with it, but I think it's great because it's not earth-shattering. It's not stuff that matters, really.
Yeah.
It's all just pure entertainment. And so I think we just wanted to say thank you, and we're really appreciative that the community that we're sort of fostering and that we're bringing in, it seems like we're bringing in good people.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, it's really, really neat to see that. And we appreciate you guys sort of bearing with us during that episode, because that stuff in our lives matters to us.
Yes.
And so we were like, we have to film the show because it's what we do, but we really want to know what's going on in the world.
Well, there's matters that go on this earth that are vastly more important than pro wrestling. Mm-hmm. And while we try to focus our time on the show on pro wrestling, sometimes, the real world interjects itself.
Yeah. It's funny because Joel Rubin, our friend, over there, used to be Funhouse, now he's SourceFed.
Yeah.
He tweeted out, and I'm sort of paraphrasing or trying to remember something like, over the past couple days, I've lost a lot of followers. I'm sorry for having an opinion. I'm not just like a hurdy guy, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't really check my Twitter feed, but I tweeted not a lot, but a bit about the election and my thoughts and how I lean and stuff. And one person said, hey, we get enough politics, could you not do that? And I sort of joked back at him. I said, a couple days, you're not going to worry about it. And he joked back at me. And so there was no fuck you for your shit, you know? And I never got any of that. And I know we're sort of, we don't have hundreds of thousands of Twitter followers. And maybe at that point it'd be different. But I appreciate the fact that our audience right now, as it stands, seems to be a really mentally healthy one, and open and inclusive and
diverse.
Tolerant and diverse, very diverse, and I really, really love that.
Yeah, I do too, and it's something I think that it's a high priority for us to
for sure,
to maintain that for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
hats off to you guys. I really appreciate
thank you very much
all your support throughout the years. So that's a show. That's our week. Tomorrow, stay tuned for the very first episode of Going in Raw Count Out.
Yeah.
We couldn't come up with a better name.
Well, yeah, it's kind of the obvious one.
Kind of the obvious one because, you get counted out.
Well, either count out or 10 count.
Or a 10 count. Yeah, but I like it. Maybe sometimes it's not going to be 10.
Yeah, it's true.
Most of the time maybe 10. Sometimes not 10.
3 count.
No, man. Just count out. Count out.
Pinfall.
One fall. We just talked about one thing. Anyways.
Or,
Too Sweet for Ending the Week. Ending the week on a Too Sweet. New show. Paid sponsorship, Too Sweet. You're not going to Too Sweet me for money? No? Not even going to look me in the eye.
I'm thinking of another name.
What a son of a bitch. No, it's already got a logo made up. You can't. Anyways, that's it for now. Thank you very much.
You can just swap out type. Bye, everybody.